You will be shocked to know that many things in your fridge should really not be there. Yes, it's true. We often believe that refrigeration is the best way to keep our food fresh and safe. But here's a twist. Many of the foods we commonly refrigerate can actually be harmed by the cold. Refrigeration can alter the taste and texture of some foods, causing them to spoil quicker. It's like putting on a winter coat in the middle of summer. It just doesn't make sense. From fruits to sauces, many items languishing in our fridges would be much happier and last longer outside. It's time to rethink our storage strategies and ensure we're not wasting food and money. So, without further ado, let's dive into the list of 20 foods you should never put in your fridge. Prepare to be surprised, intrigued, and maybe even a little enlightened. Starting our countdown at number 20, we have bread. Yes, it's a staple in most homes, but refrigerating bread actually dries it out faster. Instead, keep your loaf in a bread bin or cupboard where it will stay fresh and soft for longer. Number 19, tomatoes. These juicy fruits lose their flavor and become mealy when stored in the fridge. Instead, keep them on a countertop at room temperature and they'll ripen perfectly. Now, on to number 18, avocados. If you've bought an unripe avocado and you're not in a hurry to use it, avoid refrigerating it. The cold will halt the ripening process. Instead, let it sit on your countertop until it's ripe and ready to eat. Number 17 might surprise you. It's onions. When refrigerated, onions tend to become moldy and soft. The moisture in the fridge makes them spoil faster. Instead, store them in a cool, dry, well-ventilated place. But remember, don't store them near potatoes, as they release gases that can speed up an onion's decay. And finally, at number 16, we have honey. This natural sweetener is virtually immortal. It can stay good for years, even centuries if stored properly. But if you put it in the fridge, it will crystallize and harden. So keep your honey in a cool, dry place. Inside your pantry is perfect, and it will stay smooth and delicious. So there you have it, the first 5 foods that fare better outside the fridge. You might have noticed a common theme here. Many of these foods need to ripen at room temperature to reach their peak flavor. Refrigeration can interrupt this process and even lead to spoilage. But it's not just about taste, it's also about reducing waste. By storing these foods correctly, you're not only improving their flavor and texture, but you're also helping to reduce the amount of food that gets thrown away because it's gone bad. So the next time you're about to put your bread, tomatoes, avocados, onions, or honey in the fridge, pause and remember these tips. You'll be doing your taste buds and the planet a favor. Stay tuned as we continue our countdown with the next 5 foods you should never refrigerate. At number 15, we have citrus fruits. Your citrus favorites like lemons, limes, oranges, and grapefruits don't need refrigeration. Storing them in the fridge can actually diminish their quality, reduce their juiciness, and affect their flavor. Instead, citrus fruits thrive in a room temperature setting, which helps preserve their natural juiciness and vibrant flavors. For optimal storage, place your citrus fruits in a fruit basket on your countertop. If you don't plan on using them soon and want to extend their freshness, find a cool, dry, and well-ventilated place like a cupboard. This will help maintain their quality until you're ready to enjoy them, preventing mold growth and keeping your citrus fruits fresh and flavorful. Moving to number 14, we have garlic. Garlic should not be refrigerated because it can lead to sprouting. Refrigeration encourages garlic to develop green CHS, altering its taste and texture. The cold, damp environment promotes the growth of mold, significantly diminishing its quality, as the cold temperatures convert the garlic's natural sugars into starches. This process results in a milder taste, reducing the potent aromatic qualities that make garlic a staple in culinary uses. Additionally, refrigerating garlic can lead to the absorption of unwanted odors from other foods stored nearby, which can compromise its distinct taste and make it less appealing for use in various dishes. For optimal storage, it's best to keep garlic in a cool, dry place with good ventilation, in a mesh bag or an open container to ensure proper airflow and prevent mold growth. Next up at 13 are bananas, the tropical fruits that thrive at room temperature due to their unique characteristics. Firstly, bananas require warmer temperatures because refrigeration can damage the fruit's cell walls, leading to browned skins and altered textures. Cold temperatures also interrupt the natural ripening process, which not only affects the taste but also results in a less appealing texture. Moreover, since bananas are sensitive to ethylene, storing them in the fridge alongside ethylene-producing fruits and vegetables can cause uneven ripening. This often leads to a banana that appears ripe on the outside but remains underripe inside, compromising the fruit's overall quality. Additionally, the cold environment of a refrigerator suppresses the enzymes responsible for developing bananas' sweet taste. Room temperature allows these enzymes to function optimally, enhancing the natural sweetness of the bananas. In terms of nutritional value, bananas are rich in essential nutrients, and refrigeration can diminish these, especially antioxidants and other vital compounds. To maximize the health benefits of bananas, it's best to store them in a cool, dry place. At number 12 is butter. Yes, you heard right, butter. Struggling with rock-hard butter can be frustrating, especially when you're trying to spread it smoothly. Fortunately, you don't always need to store butter in the refrigerator. Depending on the room temperature, butter can safely be kept on the counter, covered for about a week. For longer-term storage, it's wise to keep butter refrigerated and take out only one stick at a time as needed. This approach ensures it stays fresh and is easier to manage. In very hot conditions, consider storing smaller quantities at room temperature to prevent it from going rancid, adjusting the amount based on how quickly you use it. And last but not least, in this segment of our countdown, coming in at number 11, we have potatoes. Storing potatoes in the fridge can lead to a change in their starch content, which can alter their taste and texture. Instead, store potatoes in a cool, dark place, like a pantry or a cellar. Now, isn't it fascinating how some of the foods we refrigerate out of habit can actually be better off outside the cold confines of our fridges? It's always good to question the norm, especially when it comes to preserving the taste and longevity of our food. And remember, proper food storage not only maintains the quality and flavor of your food, but it can also prevent unnecessary waste. Don't go away. We still have the top 10 foods you should never refrigerate. Can you guess what they might be? Stay tuned to find out. Entering our top 10, at number 10 we have chocolate. Storing chocolate in the fridge is far from ideal for preserving its quality. The chilly and moist environment inside a refrigerator can alter the taste, color, and texture of your chocolate. Furthermore, chocolate contains cocoa butter, which is particularly adept at absorbing odors. This means it can pick up the smells of other foods stored nearby. To keep your chocolate in the best condition, it's advisable to store it in a cool, dry place or airtight container. Now let's talk about coffee. Coming in at number 9, you might think that keeping coffee in the fridge would help preserve its flavor. However, the opposite is true. Coffee actually absorbs odors from its surroundings, which can lead to a less than ideal cup of joe. To keep your coffee tasting its best, store it in an airtight container in a cool, dark place. Next up, at number 8, we have cake. Although certain types of cake require refrigeration, those without frosting or topped with ganache or buttercream can be stored at room temperature. These cakes will remain fresh for up to 3 days if kept in an airtight container on the counter. If you're concerned about not finishing a whole cake before it spoils, consider slicing it into smaller portions. You can then store these slices in the freezer, where they are less likely to dry out, ensuring you can enjoy them later without compromising quality. Moving on to number 7, basil, a fantastic herb to enhance your culinary creations with its distinctive flavor. For freshness and taste, it's crucial to store basil at temperatures above 40 degrees Fahrenheit to prevent black spots on the leaves, which affects both the appearance and flavor of the herb. Instead of refrigerating, place the basil stems in a small amount of water and keep them in a shaded area to stay fresh and vibrant for much longer. At number 6, peanut butter. Whether your preference is crunchy or smooth, peanut butter is easiest to enjoy when it spreads smoothly. Storing peanut butter in the refrigerator can harden it, making it difficult to spread on bread. To avoid this issue, store your peanut butter in the cupboard. This way, you won't have the hassle of peanut butter that's too hard to contrast with soft jelly, and your bread won't suffer from the struggle. As we delve deeper into the foods that fare better outside the fridge, it's clear that many of our common storage habits might be doing more harm than good. It's not just about extending shelf life, but also about preserving the taste, texture, and nutritional value of our food. So, next time you're about to stash that avocado or coffee in the fridge, think again. We're almost there. The top 5 foods you should never refrigerate are coming up. Stay tuned for more surprising revelations about your favorite foods and how to store them properly for maximum freshness and flavor. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the top 5 foods you should never refrigerate. Swinging into number 5, cheese. It might seem unusual to keep cheese out of the fridge, especially since it's a dairy product, but specialty types like Pecorino Romano actually retain their flavor better when not refrigerated. However, this doesn't apply to all hard cheeses. Drier, more aged and sharp cheddars can be kept outside the fridge, but shredded cheddar should always be refrigerated. Store the cheese in a cool, dry place away from warm surfaces and direct sunlight to preserve its quality and flavor. Sailing into the 4th spot are hot sauces. Many hot sauces are made with vinegar and preservatives that naturally inhibit mold and bacterial growth. While refrigerating these fiery condiments won't necessarily cause them to spoil faster, it can diminish their potency. If you pride yourself on your high tolerance for heat, it might actually be your refrigerator that's softening the blow. Try keeping your bottle of hot sauce on the kitchen counter instead. You may find it enhances the flavor. Storming into number 3, we have mature white wines. While it is common practice to serve white wines chilled, this isn't the ideal storage method for mature white wines like Chardonnay. Unlike sparkling and lighter white wines that benefit from colder temperatures, more complex white wines are better enjoyed when they're slightly warmer. This allows their intricate flavors and aromas to fully develop. For optimal storage of mature white wines, a wine fridge set at 50-55 degree F is the best choice, preserving their quality and enhancing their tasting profiles. Sliding into the number 2 spot are peaches. Resist the urge to refrigerate fresh peaches if they're not yet ripe. Like many other stone fruits, peaches are adversely affected by cold temperatures, which can slow down the ripening process and leave you waiting longer to enjoy them. Additionally, premature refrigeration increases the risk of spoilage. Instead, store peaches on your countertop where they can ripen properly. Only consider chilling them if they are almost ripe and you're ready to eat them soon. And now, drum roll please. Topping our list at number 1 is apples. While it's common to refrigerate apples for extended freshness, this isn't always the best. Cold temperatures can alter their texture and flavor, making them less enjoyable to eat. Apples thrive best when stored at room temperature on a countertop or in a cool, dry pantry. This allows them to maintain their natural crispness and sweet taste. Keep apples in a basket with good air circulation, store it at room temperature, and enjoy its smooth texture and rich flavor. And there you have it, 20 foods you should never put in your refrigerator. Remember, while the refrigerator is a modern marvel, it's not always the best place for every food. By keeping these foods out, you'll enjoy their optimal taste and texture, reduce waste, and save space in your fridge for the foods that really need it. So the next time you're about to reflexively stash something in the fridge, pause and consider if it really belongs there. Did any of these foods surprise you? Or maybe you've been storing them correctly all along and just didn't know why. Either way, knowledge is power, and now you're armed with the power to keep your food at its best. How many of these foods have you been refrigerating all this while? It's quite a revelation, isn't it? We bet you didn't see that coming. It's funny how we assume that the fridge is the superhero of food preservation, only to discover it may not be the best place for everything after all. Not every food relishes the cold embrace of the fridge. Some foods are like those introverts at parties. They prefer the quiet corners of your kitchen. Take your onions and potatoes, for example. They'd rather snuggle up in a cool, dark pantry than shiver in the fridge. And then there are the divas like honey and coffee, who absolutely detest the cold and demand room temperature. Did any of these foods surprise you? Maybe you've been refrigerating your avocados or your basil all this while, unaware that they prefer a bit of warmth. Or perhaps the revelation about bread being better off outside made you rethink your storage methods. Whatever your surprise factor was, we'd love to hear about it. So go on, share your thoughts in the comments section. Let's start a conversation about these misunderstood foods and how we can treat them better. Remember, proper food storage is not just about preserving taste and texture, it's also about reducing wastage. So by keeping these 20 foods out of your fridge, you're not just doing your taste buds a favor, but also contributing to a more sustainable future. Don't forget to subscribe for more food preservation tips. Thank you for watching, and remember, your fridge isn't always the best place for your food.